for as little as £1.25 a week. Come over to Patreon and learn how to train your dog to a good standard, from puppy right through to trained, fully trained dog, whether it's a shooting dog or competition dog. Come and see Chris Upton on Patreon. As a breeder of puppies, I try and balance what I've got and what do I want to achieve. But it's so important, these early stages of bringing on these pups. These pups want to be with me because I've been the feeder. Once the bitch was taken away from these dogs, these little puppies follow me and want to be with me, and I tap into that. But I tap into wanting them to carry and retrieve. I'm not worried at this stage whether they're not bringing it straight back to hand. I want them to have the confidence to pick it up and run around with it. I don't put any pressure on them. I'm just encourage them to pick something and carry it in their mouth. But it's supervised, and it's really important it's supervised. I don't leave them on their own with these tennis balls or half tennis balls. But what I'm trying to do is encourage them to pick it and run around with it. Be a little bit possessive with it, to be honest with you. I don't want them to bring it back to me at this stage. That's not the main objective. The main objective is to get those puppies to want to pick it. I'm setting them up for life. I'm building the desire to want to chase. But first I want them to carry it. I want to create a little bit of jealousy between a number of pups. So one sees another one pick it, that one wants to pick it. And I'm building on that. And that is so important in those early days of your training. It's not about obedience. Anybody can put obedience into puppies. What you do, you suppress them by putting in that obedience. You don't get the best out of them. You get the best out of them if they want to be with you and they want to play your game. And they see it as a game. And that's the important thing about training dogs. Everybody's got this obsession about obedience, about control. These dogs don't even have a lead on them until they're 12 months old, because I was lucky enough to have the backfield where I could run them in the backfield. But when I did put a lead on them, it was all strange and they closed down on me. But that's not a problem because I don't want them pulling. And so when I put the lead on the dog at the right time, I don't create the problems that people create by putting the lead on them from day one. But I totally understand that these little dogs have got to have the lead on them to go down the road if you've not got the environment that I had. Now, I haven't got that environment, and I don't walk the dogs down the road very often, but that's where I would lead train the dog once I've got the dog used to wearing a lead in the yard. But I very seldom put leads on dogs because I want dogs to follow. I don't want to suppress a behavior. I want to encourage a behavior at this stage. It's all about building that fun base with them, that they're just happy and want to be with you. And so when the clients come and pick these dogs up at 8 weeks old, I've done a lot with them, because for 2 weeks I've worked really hard on getting these little dogs to want to be with me. And that's because I've used the food at that stage. Natural development. Take the bitch away from the pups. You're the provider. They see you as the provider. Plus you're giving them the fun. They don't need to go out for hours on end. 5-10 minutes, that's all they need. People think you need to take a dog out all the time. You do not need to take a dog out all the time. Even an older dog. This is why we don't get joint problems. If you don't overdo it, over exercise. Look at me running, they're following. They'll be following the mother and they'll be following me. But they follow me more at this stage because I have tapped into them wanting to be with me. If I use suppression, control, discipline, punishment, I don't really slapping these dogs down for jumping up. I want to be encouraging them to want to be with me. I want everything in their life to be fun at this stage. It's so important. What if I step on one? It's going to yelp. It's going to learn not to get too close, but I'm not going to step on one on purpose. But they want to follow, and that's what I'm trying to show you. The development of these pups, the early stages, is part and parcel. It makes me sad, this video. This is when I could run. The early development of these pups is so important for building that foundation. You don't realize how many people don't do that when they have a litter of pups. They're not out conditioning them from the start because they have no idea how to do it. I've done this for years and years and years and produced wonderful, wonderful Corleone pups. And that's how I've achieved success, by wanting these dogs to want to be with me. Look, happy, bold, full of it, and yet want to be with me. So whether you want a nice little shooting dog, a great companion, or a competition winning dog, come over to Patreon, where Chris Upton has over 2,000 videos showing you how to get the best out of your dog and train it to a very high standard. Competition standard, if that's what you're looking for. Not everybody is looking for a competition dog, but everybody wants a well-trained dog and a dog that wants to play the game. If you want a dog that wants to play the game and you're fed up with not getting results, come over to Patreon, where Chris Upton will show you how.